Hello, believe I'm live where I wasn't last time. Um, Want to talk about DoorDash taxes. Okay, yeah, I wasn't live last time. I'm new at this StreamYards. So I'm here to make a video about your DoorDash taxes, tips, and some tricks. See exactly. Um, so I spoke with DoorDash and discussed with them separating the total earnings from your taxes. And I see there's some questions out there, a lot of people questioning emails and different things, and in the past that DoorDash hadn't taken or separated the taxes from your earnings. Um, all right. So I called DoorDash after receiving this email. This email says, this is what it looks like. Your 2025 mileage statements and tip earnings from DoorDash are here. So it goes on to say, tax season is officially here. Shows here estimated mileage right here. Says my estimated mileage is 6,977 miles right here. Excuse me. That's while on the job. Then shows here my total mileage is 10,800 miles. So they're giving you somewhat of a miles if you didn't track your miles from the beginning. Um, Says up to 25,000 here. This is here. New for 2025 tips. Um, the so there if you look here, says my total tip earnings for 2025 are $4,765. I can claim up to 25,000. Um, this Anyway, you can read that. So, long story short, I called DoorDash and discussed with them what the 1099 looked like. I didn't choose to get my 1099 sent to me electronically. I wanted it old school in the mail, hard copy. Um, so she said that the earnings would be total earnings and that I would be getting an email stating the tips. It was a long conversation because, normally the first person you speak to, first agent, they don't know what they're talking about. You got to wait on hold and go back and forth until somebody understands, especially this is a new tax year, and they're doing things different. So finally she did come back and she said that, yeah, I'd receive an email with my taxes and mileage on it. Um, I did start calculating my mileage from when I started to current. I haven't even went to look to see how close their number is to my number. Um, but that is the way that I was told from DoorDash that the taxes would be separated from, no, excuse me, that your tips would be separated from your total earnings. Your 1099 will show your total earnings with the tips included, which is kind of funny to me. Um, because then when you add your tips, I guess you just have to subtract. Yeah, you would have to subtract your tips from your total earnings. That's kind of weird. I'm gonna have to talk to my accountant about that. I didn't think about that, but there is an email that I just showed you that shows your total taxes. Um, I also want to mention some things that I've known from being a 1099 contractor over the years, different businesses, whether it be construction, of homes, welding, oil company. You never know. But your mileage, from my experience over the last 30 years, like let me just use this as an example. So in the oil field, I bought a new truck, couple new trucks, bought welders, $5 grand a piece, and none of these items that I'm buying for this business as deductions change what I owe in taxes. I still owe the same amount of taxes. Like back then, it was 10 grand I owed at the end of the year in taxes, and nothing that I bought, even if I bought, two welders, $10,000, it didn't change a dime of what I owed. What I've noticed over the last 30 years, the only thing that changes your taxes is your mileage, and it's done through the appreciation no excuse me depreciation, and that's something that really is hard to understand for me, but it's going off the depreciation of your car. And so let's just use DoorDash for example. Let's say you bought new tires, let's say you bought a new motor, let's say you bought uh, whatever you may have needed for your vehicle. None of that will change what you owe in taxes. You can add it as a deduction, and I would recommend that you do. I'm not an accountant. I have an accountant. But from what I've noticed over the 30 years in different 1099 businesses that I've been in, that it doesn't play a role. The only thing that plays a role is the mileage. So let's say 20 years ago, I owed $7,000 in federal income tax, and I calculated my mileage, and let's say I made, let's just use a round number, 50,000 gross for that year. Let's just say I owed 10,000. When I calculate all the deductions that I bought, I still owed the same 10,000. Now these numbers aren't accurate, but it's just being used as an example. So when you calculate the mileage from the vehicle and it calculates the depreciation, what happens is your gross, what I say was 50,000, your gross would go down to, let's say you had 8,000 miles. Your gross pay would go down $8,000, so it would show you only made $42,000, and you would only owe $100 or $200 of federal income tax at the end of the year, due solely to the mileage that you've driven. So calculating your mileage and inputting your mileage is very important. That is the only thing that affects what you owe at the end of the year, no matter what you bought. How many receipts you save for lunches and write-offs and all this other stuff, what means nothing. Means nothing. Like I said, it just means nothing. So your mileage is where it's at. Make sure that you keep your mileage recorded, and you won't end up owing as much. You could take a $10,000 what you owe to taxes, and when you input your mileage, you can bring it down to owing $250, $400, $300, $100. And it's wild to me that the depreciation takes it down that much, what you owe. But what's even more wild to me, which I don't understand, so it takes your gross pay down too. So the mileage takes your gross pay down tremendously. So where you're thinking that you made 50,000 after the mileage says you only made 40,000, or let's say you were making 25,000 annually and you put in your mileage, it takes it down to saying you only made 14,000 annually, which is, you know, who dreams of having that as their gross income for the year. But I don't know, just take what I gave you and you know, talk to your accountant and see about that, because that is something that is facts. So I've now talked about the DoorDash taxes. I've talked about the tips being separate in an email. And it says estimated tips. Right now, DoorDash has wiped out all the data on 2025 tips, so you're not able to go back and manually see the tips. You're going to have to take that number and use it. I can't believe that they don't keep a record of your tips. But anyway, so let's move on to some tricks. And this doesn't have to do with the taxes or the tips. This is actually tricks on running DoorDash. So let's say it's Friday night, very busy, red hot. Your zone is red hot, and you get a 5-mile order for $10. Well, it's a good order, right? Not necessarily, no. Because it's very busy, there are multiple restaurants out there that are not friendly with Dashers. There's a lot of restaurants out there that don't start your order till you get there. It could be a steakhouse, could be a Mexican food joint. I'll call them out. It could be Saltgrass Steakhouse. It could be Gringo's Mexican Restaurant. It could be Popeye's Chicken. It could be Wingstop. It could be all of those. It could be more than those. It could be new restaurants. Mammy G's. Okay. They just don't have it together, and they make the Dashers wait 30 minutes before they get the food. So let's just use let's go back. So you get a 5-mile offer for $10 on a busy Friday night. You think it's a good offer till you show up. You pull up at Gringo's. You're waiting for the, oh wait, all right. You accept the order 4 miles away. You drive that 4 miles. It takes 8 minutes to get there. So you're already getting paid 8 minutes. No. Excuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself. So you're doing it by the job. DoorDash has a $2 base pay. So if they have a $2 base pay on that, there will be an $8 tip because you're getting $10. So you consider that good. Well, when you show up there, there's a 30-minute wait on the food. So now you've taken 10 minutes to drive there. You've waited 20 minutes on the food, which is 30 minutes. And then you have to drive another 5 or 10 minutes to get it there. So now you're at 40 minutes and you've made $10. Well, that order that looked so good, it wasn't so good. So what I've learned to do, and this is only on busy nights, worked good during football, works good during sporting events, Friday nights and Saturday nights as well. We don't want the $2 base pay, and it's going to take some practicing. What you do is you work by the hour. Okay, so let's say same order. I'm working by the hour. They send me to Gringo's. Takes me 10 minutes, 8 minutes to get there. As soon as I accept the order, I start getting paid. Whereas prior, I didn't. So now I'm getting paid the 8 minutes to get to the Gringo's. I pull up, wait outside at the curb, type in, text them, I'm here. Takes them 20 minutes to bring the food to me. Well, now that's 30 minutes that I've been waiting. So that $2 base pay means nothing because I'm getting paid by the hour. So now, after waiting for half an hour, I'm getting half of what DoorDash is hourly rate is. So if it's $15 an hour, I've made $7.50 just waiting, not using any gas, waiting at the restaurant. The one thing you have to do, though, in order to do this and be successful is when you arrive at that restaurant, you have to go down and hit the button to DoorDash and say, order just being started when I arrived. You also go to the customer's message and message them, waiting on your order, just got started when I arrived. That way it's on record what time you're there, what time you've arrived. Okay, this is also good if you're working in a market that's traffic is busy, lights everywhere, traffic backed up at 5:30. So now you've waited 30 minutes for that order, and the 5 miles that you got to go is going to take you another 15 minutes to get to that house because of traffic. So what you do is you take a picture of the traffic that you're in and you send it to the customer. Traffic's bad. I'm coming. I'll be there as soon as possible. That way it's recorded in the DoorDash system that you have now waited 20 minutes for the food. The traffic is bad. There's a record of that. So now you're 45 minutes in and you still haven't made it to the house. Well, now you're getting paid. DoorDash is paying you for 45 minutes. So you're getting, let's say, $11 for that order already. And then you get the $8 tip on top of what DoorDash is paying you. So you end up coming out of there at $19, $20 for that one order that was only 5 miles. Does that make sense? You can only do this on a busy time. And what will happen is DoorDash will send you a message after you in the morning when you wake up, and it'll say that there's a hit, and they're could be deactivated, your time, this and that and the other. Don't let that scare you. Just hit dispute. When you hit dispute, just say, I have everything on record. I text you when I got there. The restaurant took 25 minutes to bring me the food. I have a picture of the backed up traffic that I sent to the customer. I couldn't have done it any faster. And then you submit it. Ask them also before you submit it, where would you like me to send this information to? What email would you like me to send this information to dispute this? What ends up happening is this quick, instantly, DoorDash, I believe AI is reading your disputes. DoorDash texts you back and says, okay, the dispute is no longer a dispute. You win. So you're making $20 per order during the very busy times, especially if you pick an area that has high traffic. And the restaurants are taking time because they're backed up and they've got lines out the door. Let's say Valentine's Day, they've got lines out the door. They've got holidays, lines out the door. And you're in a high traffic area. This is where you're able to take advantage of working by the hour. And you waste no fuel at all. You're sitting and waiting the whole time, and you're getting paid $20 to sit and wait for 40 minutes. So then I'm just throwing that out there. After a couple of those, they do catch on, and they end up trying to give you an order that's a quick one, it seems like, where you pick up quick and you deliver it 10 miles, which takes 20 minutes. So they'll give you one that will take you out of your zone, and it takes 20 minutes. So they only have to pay you 20 minutes of the hour, and there's no tip. So when they do that, I end my shift and I switch right back to paid by the job. Then I start getting some higher paying jobs, and I'm a little more selective on where I'm going. I go to a little different range where it's not so busy, but then I'll switch back if I get taken back to that area, and I switch back to earn by time. So you just have to play it by ear, and it's kind of like playing a game with them. And just don't let them take advantage of you. That's all I'm saying. Get paid for your time, and don't don't get taken advantage of out there. That's one trick I got for you guys. You should try it. It works out. I only work 3 days a week, normally 5 o'clock to midnight. Sometimes I stay out from midnight to 4 in the morning. But for instance, let's say you got to wait at a drive-through, okay, and the drive-through is packed at 10 o'clock at night. Well, you'd want to be working by the hour at that time. Uh, that way you're waiting 30 minutes in the drive-through, and it's and then 10 minutes to the house. You get paid the $11 for the order while wasting no fuel and taking it 5 miles. Something to think about. Just giving you the business from my end, and good luck to all you out there. Remember, the mileage is the only thing that affects what you owe on your taxes, and good luck to everybody out there. I got some boudin here I'm fixing to tear up, and have a good one. 2026, here we come.